Right, for video number 2, we are going to attempt the macro. So what I suggest you do is, this is definitely going to be one where I suggest you practice and then record the macro by pausing my video. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is somewhere on your screen, it doesn't really matter where, type markup and say 40% and type exchange rate and put 07 like we had on the front page, but we're actually going to just add them here. So I would pause the video now, add those two things, and then play again. Right, once you've done that, we actually have to link these two to our formula here. So before, what you would have is, before you had, if you click, oh sorry, let me just click in. So if you click into your cost in pounds and you look at your formula here, yours should say, because I did this earlier, yours should say home page and something. Okay, so I want you to delete where it says home page, so it just says B4, so that's all there, times, and then I want you to click on the exchange rate that we've just added here. And remember, if we push F4, my computer doesn't do F4 very nicely. Sorry. Right, F4 so that we put the absolute values on, and then we can drag that down. You'll see I made it, you don't have to change the colors, I've just made it blue so you can see. And then you're going to take the 40% and you're going to go here where it says the formula, and it's going to say C4, and yours will say something like times home 1, something. So you're just going to delete the home bit, and you're going to, or menu, whatever you called it, and you're going to click on the 40% there, and once again you're going to absolute value it by pushing F4, and then of course drag it down. Okay, so I would pause the video again and add those two things. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do something called a what if. Okay, so it says here, when the exchange rate increases, the company can do one of two things. So we're just going to do the one thing because that's good enough for now. Alright, it says decrease the margins so the prices stay the same. So what it means is, if this goes up, we are going to make this go down so that the prices stay the same. Alright, so to do that, what we need to do is we need to, it doesn't really matter which one we use, we can use that one or that one, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we know that on 40% we're making 36,022. Alright, so what we're going to do, so have a go at doing this first, and then I might have to, I don't know if I can record more than 5 minutes on this recorder thing, so we might have to make a video too. But for video 1, what I want you to do is I want you to go to data at the top, and then I want you to go here where it says what if, and you're going to say goal seek. So actually I missed a step, cancel. Alright, so it says when the exchange rate increases. So at the moment it's 0.7, let's make it 0.9, and you can see that obviously we're making more money, but they wanted to say that when the exchange rate increases, the company can do one of two things: decrease the margin so the prices stay the same. Because if I take it down to 0.7, you'll see the cost was £19.60. If I make it 0.9, it now suddenly goes to 25, and it means we're selling them at £35, where before we were selling them at £27. So we want to keep the prices the same, but make less profit. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so what we're going to do, so I'm just going to put that back onto 0.9. So put it onto 0.9 before you do this. And then you're going to go data, and you're going to go what if, and you're going to use a thing called goal seek. And you're going to say, I want to set my profit cell here to, remember it was 36,022, by changing the markup. Alright, and then we can see that if they want to keep the prices as what they were, they need to change their markup to 31% instead of 40%. Alright, so have a go at doing that. Actually, I'm going to see, because I think this only records 5 minute slots, but let's carry on and see. Although I'm nervous now. Okay, so we're still making our same profit here, we're still making our same profit here. We can obviously still change this up and down if we want. But you can see that if the exchange rate goes up, we need to make less profit. So instead of making 40%, which will give us more money, we make it 31 so that the customers can still be happy. Well, it's going to 5 minutes, so we can do this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to record this as a macro. So what you're going to do is change this back to 40%. And then, I just want to see something. You see the price is up there. Alright, so change that to 40%. Keep that at 09. And then what you're going to say is you're going to say view. And you're going to say macro. And you're going to say record a new macro. Alright. So now the macro name has to stay the same. So let's call it new markup. Sorry, it doesn't have to stay the same. The macro must have no spaces. Alright, so don't put any spaces or it won't work. Alright, so everything I'm doing now is being recorded in my macro. So don't push any buttons or flick or anything. It doesn't really matter, but everything gets recorded now. So again, I'm going to go to data. I'm going to say what if goal seek. I'm going to say set that cell there to 36022 because that was what our base data said was our profit with 40 and 07 by changing the markup, and click OK. And then once you've got an amount, you're going to go to your macros, view, macro, and you're going to stop recording the macro. Alright, now we want to run the macro from a button. So I'm just going to go to insert and I'm going to put a little square in here. And I'm going to call it something like I get a text. And I'm going to say change the markup to suit increase in exchange rate. I mean, that's a mouthful, but you can call it whatever you want. I like that color button. Obviously, we want to make it look nice. Okay, so now if I right click on that and I say assign macro, I then have my new markup macro over there. I can go like that. Let's say that it goes up to 0.8. Now if I click the button, it will run the goal seek in the background and tell us that it should be 35%. If it goes to 0.99, I don't know why it would be 99, and I run it, again, you can see it always sets our profit to 36,022. Alright, now the most important thing to do is to say file, save as, and we must make sure that you change it to a macro enabled workbook. Okay, otherwise it will lose your macro. Alright, to put this into the test plan and the project log, you're going to go view, macros, view your macros, and then you can actually just click here on edit, and then you can print screen this code, and then you can actually just move this over. You can actually just click on the cross. It will take you back to your spreadsheet, and that's all you need to do for the macro.